On Sunday, the United Arab Emirates Defense Ministry confirmed the tragic loss of 3 soldiers from the UAE Armed Forces and an officer from the Bahrain Defense Force in a devastating assault at a military base in Mogadishu, Somalia's capital. The assault occurred at the General Gordon military base on Saturday night, according to the ministry's statement. The Al-Shabaab militant group linked to Al-Qaeda has asserted responsibility for the attack, which targeted a training mission at the base, as stated by UAE authorities on Sunday. The UAE Defense Ministry disclosed that UAE personnel were engaged in training soldiers from the Somali Armed Forces pursuant to an agreement between the UAE and Somalia. Regrettably, the attack resulted in 2 additional injuries, as stated by the ministry. Reports indicate that the assailant was identified as a recently trained Somali soldier. The assault on Saturday targeted troops stationed at the General Gordon military base, with details surrounding the attack and casualties remaining scant. Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud extended his condolences to the UAE in the aftermath of the tragedy. The UAE's Ministry of Defense classified the incident as a terrorist act, confirming the loss of 3 of its troops and a Bahrain soldier, while noting that 2 others sustained injuries. Anwar Gargash, a senior Emirati diplomat, conveyed sympathies to the victims and wished a speedy recovery to the wounded. No treacherous act will deter us from upholding the message of security, combating extremism and terrorism in all its manifestations, Gargash asserted. Meanwhile, Bahrain, an island nation in the Gulf neighboring Saudi Arabia, has not immediately acknowledged the attack. Al-Shabaab asserted responsibility for the attack through an online statement, claiming to have targeted multiple individuals involved in the Emirati military effort. In their statement, they labelled the UAE, a federation of 7 sheikdoms situated on the Arabian Peninsula, as an enemy of Islamic law due to its support for the Somali government in combating the armed group. Originating from Somalia's prolonged period of anarchy following a 1991 civil war, Al-Shabaab, meaning the youth in Arabic, once held control over Mogadishu. However, an African Union-led force, backed by the US and other nations, eventually ousted the group from the capital. Since then, Al-Shabaab has persistently clashed with the country's federal government and the AU-mandated peacekeeping missions as it endeavors to establish a new government based on its interpretation of Islamic law. The group frequently conducts bombings in densely populated areas across the nation. Notably, on Tuesday, a series of attacks in a crowded market in Mogadishu resulted in at least 10 fatalities and approximately 20 injuries. Al-Shabaab has also carried out assaults in neighboring Kenya, targeting the country due to its provision of troops and resources to the AU force operating there. The UAE in recent years has increasingly invested in ports in East Africa, including in Somalia's breakaway Somaliland region. Securing Somalia fits into the empire's wider concerns about security in the Gulf of Aden and the Arabian Sea. Somali piracy has recently resumed after several years amid the attacks by Yemen's Houthi rebels on shipping in the Red Sea.